I don't know, Okay, let's start now. Yes, please. Okay. All right. Everybody can hear me and we're all ready to go. I'm sure I'll get a little thumbs up in a minute from Ange. Beautiful. Great. Okay, guys. Well, welcome to Monday Night Live, beginning of another whole new week, which I love. It's always exciting to get another week about to get started. I had a great week last week, starting off with Monday Night Live last month with Anna, who did a fabulous job. So welcome and thanks everyone for taking the time out of our completely busy lives to all connect tonight. So we're going to start with what's on for the week so that everyone knows. It's really important to know what's coming up for the week and really the week's ahead already, just so you can, diarise, get people organised and all those sorts of things. So this week we're starting off with the Australian only events this week. We're starting off with Cairns tomorrow night, 26th, and we have the fabulous Lyndon being out travelling up there with Taylor. So that should be a great event. On the same night, we've actually got down in Melbourne for the very first time the Chinese event run by Susan Lang, Diamond Director. So that's going to be a new event monthly, I believe, in Melbourne. What's great about that, a few of us may think, well, yeah, how does that work for me? A really important thing, if we know of any, Chinese people in our networks, in our communities, to be able to send them along to these events, because this is a great tool for them to see an amazingly amazing woman who came from where she came from and has created the business that she has created. So make sure we all use this. I know I certainly have been trying to prospect people to go along to that event. Wednesday, the 27th, we have a power session backed up again by Taylor and Lyndon. So again, a great event for people to get along to and learn some tips and tools, mix with a 22-year-old and mix with I don't know how old Lyndon is, I better not guess. I think he's a fair bit younger than me, but anyway, mix with these two superstars who can teach them lots of bits and bobs about the business as well. And then also on the Wednesday night, we have the Melbourne Preston event down there at Olympic Hotel. So that's what's on this week. Again, with all the things that we know, the 8:30 call tonight and all the other normal events that we have in our week. So make sure we plug this and get as many people along to these events as possible. Just quickly, we'll tap on the European University, which is in Germany, November 18 to 20. A massive opportunity again here, because the European market is just getting going. There's baby growth in this market. So why would we not all be prospecting and trying really hard? Everybody knows somebody around the world these days. The globe has become a very small place. So let's remember that. Let's have this diarised and know that any person we put on between now and November, don't know about you guys, but I thought November, God, that's ridiculous, it's a year away, but we're already just about to hit August. So we really do need to start working to this event and getting people there so that they can feel supported in that market. The one I'm most excited about, although I'm sure the Europe one will be great, is our very own local grown Melbourne University, August 6th. Now, we should all have our tickets there. And, people who are building this business and who are leaders within their teams, it is so very important to be making the people who are new to this business, who don't maybe have a true understanding of the skill set and all the other bits and bobs that they can learn from going to this event, that they really are aware. They have their ticket, they have their flights. Make it a real team bonding thing for people who are interstate as well, with sharing accommodations and organising dinners and hanging out as groups, teams and things like that, because it really does make it a glue to the team when people feel part of a strong, sisterhood or slash manhood team. It's, a very, very important thing. And to miss these events, really, you are not doing yourself any favours. I know sometimes it can be challenging to get along to these when we're interstate and we have kids and various other things that are going on. But truly, you do not want to miss this. And I really look forward to hanging out with lots of you there. I just want to make note, some information I got earlier on this evening. For anyone who is a Sapphire, a qualified Sapphire, but hasn't quite qualified for the Sapphire evening, because they're at this point, they do have some availability. You are able to purchase a ticket to this event if you haven't qualified. So contact, oh gosh, I've just forgotten her name, not Rachel, but we all know the events lady, and let her know, purchase the ticket, and then you will be able to, which is really very special, really, because you usually can't do that, to come along to the Sapphires evening, because that's a great night. I remember our local band, last one, we had an awesome night. So I look forward to seeing lots of you at the university, and next week I think is the beginning of all that. So we haven't got much time to start pushing. So our weekly topic tonight, which I've been asked to speak on, is back to basics. I know quite a few maybe people on the call tonight will think, yep, okay. But I truly think this is a topic that sometimes us people who have been in the business a bit longer forget to realise the importance of. And in reflection of my business over the last few months, I felt a very big need to go back to basics myself and really talk to the other leaders within my team as to what was going on around this topic, and are we training people with a back to basics strength of knowledge. So I'm going to just talk about this for probably only about 15 minutes, won't be too long, but just to get us to all to sharpen our saw on this topic, because if we get this right, the rest of our businesses will flourish, and that is what we're all looking for. So the importance of the getting started training. Here are just 3 that I mainly pulled out that I just wanted to talk about. So listening and understanding other industry leaders and how they go about their business. That is one of the things that everyone would certainly get from doing the Getting Started training. And why would that be of any use? When I really thought about that, how has that been a tool for me? So in the beginning, when I joined Janessa, I'd never done network marketing before, never really had any understanding of it whatsoever. And so for me, listening to the people who I listened to, all the ones that were on that Getting Started training, it made me truly understand that everyone has their peaks, their troughs, their stories, their great days, their not great days. And it gave me a true understanding that this wasn't a business that just went boom, 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 boom. It really was a business that went up and then maybe down and then plateau and then up and then down. And if these people were now, multi-million-dollar earners, but all they did was stick to it and really understand that that's what it is. Anything, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Me understanding that from that component of the training has been something that I draw into my mind often when maybe a day isn't so easy. So very important that we understand and listen to all these type of leaders. Building a list building and memory joggers. This for me, and I'm sure Angie's listening and will have a giggle at this, because this is part of the training that I now am an absolute stickler for, because it is part of the training that I didn't do. So I really believed in my head that, okay, I had this, I really knew all the people whom I would want to contact and talk to about the business and blah, blah, blah. Hence, that was a really bad decision. So I'm sharing that with you so that you learn from a mistake that I made. That part of the training is so important. I cannot begin to tell you. I'll share one thing with you that came from me not doing that. I had various people over the first couple of months contact me and say, oh, Cathy, we heard you've joined Janessa, blah, blah, blah. And because of that, we're so excited to hear that you did it. We've decided to join, but we joined with Tom from Timbuktu, and it's great. And so of course, I have to say, great, I'm so glad. And why did they do that? They did that because they didn't hear from me, because I thought that I could remember everyone who I needed to contact. It's impossible. You know, we have so many people in our lives, people who we forget we even know. But once you sit down with that paper in front of you that's jogging all the different aspects of people that you have in your life or have had in your life, you will go, oh my God, I didn't think of him. Oh my God. And it's just like when you talk to people in the beginning who say, oh, I actually don't know that many people. I always have a copy of that paper in my handbag whenever I'm meeting people, and I'll actually pull that out of the meeting and say, really, let me help you build your list. And it surprises so many people when they start looking at that list with all the different people that they know, how many people they actually know. So another massive, massive part of the training. The other part that I really like about the Getting Started training is it really helps people to connect with their why. Sometimes people will come into the business and they'll all be very, very excited. Me being one of them, when I started, I was so passionate and excited. But when I really sat down and took a moment to connect with why, what I was doing this for, what were the reasons that I had made a major decision in my life to come over to Jeunesse, and really write them down and sit with them and sit with the emotion and draw the picture. And I did a vision board, because that's just something I do. But I think it's a great thing for lots of people to do. But even if you don't do a vision board, helping people understand why and what's important to them is a tool that will be very useful at this point. But more importantly, it's a tool in which you can, I actually make notes of every person who I personally enroll about that one point, what their why was. Because when things maybe are a bit tricky, it's a great tool for me to be able to go back and say, you know, Sally, I know that things maybe haven't gone as well as we wanted in the last couple of weeks, but remember what our why was. And I can actually quote to her what it was because I have that written down. So being able to do that is, again, a tool that I found to be very useful. All of these things, getting off to a good start. You know, why is that so important? You know, if you can give people a bit of confidence when they start by having a good start, by helping them earn some income straight up, by letting them see, I believe in you. Now, do you believe in you? Giving them all these emotions and getting them off to a solid start really builds belief in themselves. You know, we'll often have way more belief in somebody than they have in themselves. So doing these simple steps in the beginning in helping people start off with this type of training really does help with lots of things you're avoiding, you know, trouble that you don't need, extra hardness that you don't need. This will really set people up to have much, much better starts. The other thing which is extremely important, and I know that a few leaders really do bang on about this, but it just makes such a difference. And if you feel that you're not doing this at the point in your business, most of the time you'll find that your team are not either. So monkey see, monkey do is an extremely true statement. Plugging into the system means what? Local events, three-way calls, using leverage of other leaders within this business. That is half the beauty of this business. Local events, why are they so important? Why? Because if you're having, you know, I have two people who obviously, I wouldn't say, but two people in my team who I can instantly think of when I think of local events. Two that were hitting a wall about at the same time. One who kept pushing and coming to every single event. The other who just hasn't and has probably really, really fallen off the wagon now. Because local events are the rest of us team helping other people get up when we're not feeling so up. What they also are is you'll learn something else. At every event, even if you've heard the presentation 100 times like I have, last week when I went to the Melbourne event, I picked up something else Brisbane event. I picked up something else said by a different presenter that I thought, wow, I love that, I'm going to use that. So there's something you'll learn. There's the camaraderie, there's the fun, there's the drinks. There's all the other things that you will get at a local event that you will help build you as a person and you as a person within this business that you will never get if it's all too hard and you stay on the couch. The other thing, if we all know when the events are, and we're really working towards each event, you should have invited at least 10 people to go with you. You may only take one, but you should be in the process of inviting 10 or more with you to that event. So plugging into the system is extremely important. All you people who are on this call tonight, you're doing it. You're plugging into the system. You know, this is the Monday Night Live getting started. Hopefully I can help you pick up a few key things that you can change and implement, which is exactly what you're doing tonight, plugging into the system. The power of the three-way call never ceases to amaze me. I know when our business is going through the Richter scale, it is because I'm getting absolutely smashed with three-way calls. And when I can see the numbers of enrolments, and I check every day, when they're flatlining, I can tell you that easily without even checking my report, because I'm doing no three-ways. Three-way calls work because of a few reasons. The psyche behind it. If somebody is starting off in the business and you present to be a very confident, professional person, and that person isn't, you know, they can see that you, the person who's organised a three-way call with the third party, they didn't have to be like you. They didn't have to be all the things that they may be. They don't need to remember everything. They don't need to know about stem cell. They don't need to know the comp plan. They don't need, you know, all the things that people get fearful of. They can see by a three-way call that Sally didn't even know anything. All she did was put me on a call to this Cathy girl. It makes it seem very simple. That is one part of the three-way call that I ask people once they've joined the business what they liked, and that's a lot of feedback that I get. The other thing is social proof, because you're getting someone who has made it to a degree, doing the three-way call to show them that social proof is here. They have done it, they have made it within this business. So a three-way call is a very, very important thing. And don't forget the leverage of that three-way call. You know, you may not be feeling well or be a bit sick or don't know the answer or whatever the case may be. And that person having a relationship with whom they've had a three-way call with, they can then feel comfortable in contacting that person. So I think if we go right back, all of us at the end of this call, and sit there and go, okay, what am I doing? What am I not doing? And have a real personal self-check that we are doing this or we're not doing this. We're not helping our new starts have a strong and solid start if we're not starting them with this type of behaviour. So just moving forward, what's next? So we can do all that, we can get them doing all those type of things and do the training. I use that point after the training's done to go back with that conversation. So I have a fairly important conversation with a new enrolment at this point, and what would that conversation look like? So one, you'll actually really know if a person has done their training here because by this conversation. So I go through what we just spoke about, their why. I also go through the next bit that we'll talk about. And this is about rank advancement and people understanding rank advancement. I, again, have had a look at a few things over the last month as to see what slowed down and why. And this was one thing that I really noted to oneself is the reason behind it. In the beginning, when I really was going off with a bang, excuse me, I started the calls and ringing everyone who I could think of without that list, and enrolled. You know, we had a great start. We enrolled probably 40 people in our first month, which was great. But one, which I'm sorry, I'm jumping here, but one thing I want to say at this point, don't ever be too worried about what you know, because I enrolled more people with less knowledge than I enroll now with lots of knowledge. So make sure if there's any people on this call tonight that are brand new or new-ish, that your passion is so powerful, more powerful than knowledge, and don't ever forget that. But one thing I did notice that I did in the beginning was, and Linda Manning comes to mind straight away because we were new together when I enrolled her, we were watching that breakdown of rank advancement. And we knew. So with every person who comes into the business after, sorry, someone was interrupting me, after they've come in and we've talked about the training and all of that, We then go on to a discussion of rank advancement and making them understand what it is. So, okay, great. We're going to start with executive, and an executive is one person on your left and one person on your right. How do you think we're going to go with that? With your list, have you got someone in mind that we can start with? Yes? Great. So let's do that call today. Now, the next one we're going to look at is Jade. Now, do you know what a Jade is? So we know that it's 8 and 3 minimum on that side. So looking at that advancement, how long do you think we could do that? What time period do you think we could work it within that? The reason I do that is because it sets a really clear vision for me, but it also sets a clear vision for them. So if they're getting to the point where they wanted to reach it in a month, say, and we're up to 2 months, it then leads into a conversation that you can go back with and say, you know, Sally, I've just been noticing our notes and we were trying to work on the position of Jade within a month, and you know, it's just getting a little bit over that. So I thought we'd maybe have a conversation about how you're feeling. Do you know what to say? Are you struggling with something? How's the list going? You know, it gives you somewhere to go rather than of setting up that, you know, precursor, if you will, the flag to tell you when someone was hoping to do that. Again, that will come back to something we spoke about before. If people are starting to rank Jades and Pearls, they're going to be earning some money, they're going to feel good about themselves, they're going to have some social proof, all those things which, you know, generally, as soon as someone gets that, they're off, because we all know this business works, our products are the best. The only thing that will hold people back is their confidence or them not doing daily actions that maybe because they don't have a true understanding of where they're going. So check people constantly along the way so that you're supporting them. Remember that their success is your success. Remember that no one is in this business alone. We're all in this together. And if we can all pull the other person up when they're not feeling like they can jump up themselves, that's what true leadership is. And that's what we all should be looking out for. Pathway to Pearl form in J5, that's a great tool. Just make note of that so that, you know, go contact your leader. They'll tell you exactly where that is. That's a great form or a guide to work with, because that will show you exactly, you know, the map pretty much on how to get there. And then, of course, when people go to Pearl, and especially at the moment with this promo, that people will earn extra money, from Pearl, you know, to jump to Sapphire, you know, that's a bit harder, but it's something then that they've got, you know, confidence in, because they've managed to get where they've gotten to. So these are some things in the basic beginnings that if we all start to implement into our business, we will see replication. And this is what we need to do here. It needs to be able to be replicated by every single person who joins this business, whether they're man, woman, shy, extrovert, you know, it doesn't matter, because if they have a system, all people can follow the system. And that's what we're trying to make sure from tonight's call, that we're all having a little moment of being mindful if we're all doing that. Another thing that I do in the beginning is I have a conversation or a rehearsal, if you will, with people to see if they're comfortable with what they're going to say to people. Because a lot of people go, okay, great, I'm so excited. Now what do I do? I think that's a very, very, very common complaint. So I sit down with my new starts and say pretty much exactly that. Okay, do you feel comfortable with what you're going to say to people? Are you ready? And some people will say, yes, I'm ready to go. And some people will say, oh, no, I'm scared. And so that's a great conversation to have with a new start as well, because you can, you know, talk to them and say what you say and teach them, and then let them do it back on you, and work together as a team so that her success or his success is both of your success. I teach people, and this is just my point of view, I teach people to always start a conversation about the business. And then if the person isn't interested in the business, they can always then bring it back to product. But much, much easier to bring a conversation back to product than it is to start with product and up it to the business. I find it's easy to do that, and we can always do another call on that another time, but so that I don't go too overtime. But a thing that I find easy to do in those type of conversations is to help people learn open-ended questions when they're talking to people. But that is probably another topic. So things like, you know, would you agree that the anti-aging market is a massive business? Yes. And would you agree that most families really need another additional format of income coming through their homes? Yes. So opening questions like that will get a conversation going is something else that you could really run through with new starts, and helping people to know their own story. So many times within the team we'll talk about things and they'll say, oh, can you record that? What did you say? That sounded great. But, you know, I bring it back to, if you just share your story, you can't forget it. If you talk from your heart, if you are completely transparent, people see that, and you will not forget your story. So always make sure that you know your why you joined the business, what you see in this business, and share that passion and that information, because you can't forget you, with the masses, and people will see what you see. It's just about hopping on the phone and doing that. So thank you, guys. I've just hit my 8 o'clock spot, so hopefully that has helped some people out there tonight. And I really do strongly suggest that we all go back and have a look at our Getting Started training, and maybe even people who have been in the business for a little bit, who you believe really did have it in them but didn't quite. Maybe you can give them a call and ask how they went, and you know, how they're going, and you know how they're feeling, and would they like to look at something, and how did they ever do their training properly, and you know, start having a conversation about it. Maybe go back and talk about the fact that you've maybe redone your training, and through that process you have learned, you know, all sorts of things. Because sometimes if something isn't happening right at that time for people, a little tweak of training can make all the difference, for sure. So what you do today can certainly improve all your tomorrows, and I've had a month of that really resonating with me, coming home and from conference and believing that I wasn't doing what I should do, going back to my basic training, reconnecting with a few people who I thought maybe would be interested, had worked, hitting the basic phones again, doing all the basic things in the beginning. We managed to put on, you know, 20 more people in the month of June, and a few more businesses in the last few weeks, and it certainly works. So hopefully that helps some of you out there today. It's been a pleasure sharing that with you, and I look forward to seeing you all later. Bye. That's all that. Can you do that, Dale, please?